Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Gio, the content creator for The Boss Life Online, where we bring you home businesses that I have joined and that is great for you to join as well. Today, we have Melissa King of myEcon Home Business. Now, I'm going to introduce Melissa. Melissa is an executive Vice President Platinum of myEcon and a home-based business owner since 2015. She is looking to educate and provide business opportunities in the world of personal finance. Since starting her business, she has personally given herself a raise of an additional $800 per month just by learning the difference between cash flow and income. Now, today, Melissa will be telling us why she joined myEcon and why you should too. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Melissa King.
Hey, everybody. It's so nice to be here, Gio. Thank you again for inviting me.
You're so welcome. And I am so happy that you're here to tell us about this awesome home business, myEcon.
Okay, so yeah, as you said, I've been doing this business since 2015, and a lot of people ask, how did I get started? So let me just give you a brief backstory on my journey or whatever. Back in 2015, I was a divorced parent of a child that was now 5 years old, meaning from a tax standpoint, I no longer could claim when your child goes to daycare and you get that extra deduction. I was not a homeowner. Still currently, I'm not a homeowner. I was a renter. And the two biggest things that they usually promote when you're getting your taxes done in order to see a difference is, okay, do you own a home? Or do you have kids, or how many kids do you have? So those two areas, which are usually the bigger areas, I was not coming up well. And with the type of work, the line of work that I do for my full-time job, it's fairly profitable. So it threw me into a higher tax bracket. So when you're in a higher tax bracket and you don't have a lot of deductions, you end up every year owing or coming up with some kind of way to not end up on that negative side of the tax system. So this personally is what kind of started my journey. Everybody has a different reason for why they get into home-based businesses like this. For me, it was because Uncle Sam had my hands tied behind my back. So at that time, one of my former schoolmates, Tony Clopton, I was following him on Facebook. So he would have videos up where he was talking about how much money he had cash flow, this, that, and the other. Something new he was doing every week, as far as like savings and just little tidbits about finance. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I knew Tony from high school. I ain't never known him to be a mathematician. So what is he doing all of a sudden now that he got all this good advice? So I still didn't tap on it. I'm still being nosy, So 6 months passed by, and I see him still on here talking about this home-based business he does. So it got the best of me. I hit him up on the inbox. At the time, I hadn't seen Tony probably about 10, 15 years. We were living in the same city. But I went on to his Facebook page and hit his inbox. And I said, Tony, what are you doing with this business? I said, look, I don't want to watch no video. I don't want to hear no long, drawn-out sales pitch. Tell me in 5 minutes or less what you're doing and how it's going to help me. Because, I'm just like, I don't have time for all that now. I don't want to hear that. So he basically sat there, and when he broke it down to me in the ease and the comfort of how he was able to tell me, he asked me a couple questions. He said, well, about my current situation. I'm like, well, I'm single. So I am head of household when it comes to filing. I said, I'm having them to take an extra $50 out of my state and my federal when I get paid every 2 weeks because I don't want to owe at the end of the year. I was telling him about my credit situation, good, not great, could be better. And so he listened to everything that I kind of told him that I had going on. And he started talking to me about the difference between being a employee and owning your own business. So he kind of went over, he's like, you use your cell phone every day. I was like, of course. He said, well, if you have a home-based business, that same cell phone can be used as a business expense, which means you are lowering your taxable income. And I'm listening to him like, okay, I don't want to sound slow, but I don't know what you're talking about with no taxable income. So, you know how you want to ask a question but not sound dumb?
Right.
And finally, I'm just like, forget that. Look, Tom, you're going to have to break this down. I don't know nothing about no taxable income. I don't even know how they decide what refund I'm going to get back. So he said, and I'm going to tell y'all, I was 40 years old enough to know better, old enough to make money, but not old enough to understand. Well, I was old enough. I just didn't understand how to manage this money that I was making. Because one thing I would say, you can be a person in a pay grade where you're bringing home $35,000 a year, and you can be in one where you're bringing home $200,000 a year. If you don't know how to manage your money, you could have less money in that $200,000 position and have to borrow from that person in that $35,000 position. So it's all about knowing not only how to make your money, but how to keep it. So that's basically what he went over with me, how for my personal situation, having a home-based business would help me. So that's pretty much how I got started, in 2015. And the thing of it was, when I initially got started, I still didn't quite understand what I had, And back during that time, it was like, $179 to get started. And I was like, I got to pay $179 a month. And he was like, no, that's just the startup cost. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So then he went over the monthly fee with me, which was only like 35 back then. It was 35 a month. And I'm like, okay, I can handle that. He said, well, you don't even really have to worry about handling that because that is a part of your business. That money that you're spending every month is paying for your website. It's paying for all types of things business related. So that too is a write-off. And I'm like, okay, so when people say write-off, what exactly does that mean? I mean, I needed finance 099. I didn't even need 101. I needed to know basic information because I didn't realize, even though they say it's a tax refund, I didn't get the concept that this was my money that they were giving me back.
Now, you are talking about your home business, myEcon, right?
I am. I'm talking. Okay. So this is what, when I started this home business, myEcon, and it's called myEcon. Let me say this, myEcon, because it's talking about my economy. Everybody's situation is different. So it's not across the board. Everybody does the same thing. It was talking about my situation, my economy, and how I can improve that. So keep that in mind. What I like to say is, when it comes to this home-based business, it's like when you get a bag of Legos. Let's say they gave you a bag, Gio, and they gave me a bag. You might take yours and build a castle, a car, whatever. I may take mine and build a skyscraper, whatever. The point of it is we all start with that same bag. What we choose to make of it from the content is how far you can go. Right. So as soon as I got started, I knew the first thing I needed to do was to eliminate debt. So when I first got started and learned the difference between being an employee, and a business owner is that the tax system is totally different. So I learned how to fill out that W-4, which is the form everybody gets when they first start working. A lot of us hadn't seen it. If you've been on your job forever, you probably hadn't seen it since you started working. But that form is supposed to be updated anytime there's a change in your life. It could be divorce. It could be your kids have graduated. It could be any life event that affects your income, like how much money you got coming in and going out. So usually with that piece of paper, I never knew what it meant. Back in the day, I don't know about y'all, but they wouldn't even give us the whole sheet of paper. It was like a little strip, and it had these little blank and then you signed it, and you put your social on them. And
Right.
then I would ask the people, well, what am I supposed to put here? And they'd be like, you got kids? I'm like, no, well, put 0 inside your name. That's all I knew to do. I didn't know what the purpose of it was. I didn't know what that had to do with. So joining this home-based business helped me to understand exactly what's going on when I fill out that form, because I'm basically telling them how much I want them to take out of my check in taxes based on my situation. And your situation as an employee versus your situation as a business owner, totally different. Whole nother set of deductions. And when I say deductions, now that I actually know what that means, deduction means things that the way the tax system works, you're taxed on the amount of money you make. But your taxable income can be lowered, meaning how much income they can tax you on based on deductions. And those are things like when you're a business owner, your cell phone, mileage, when you drive places to go and work your business, your internet. All of these things are needed for you to conduct your business. So now, instead of those just being your personal bills, sorry about this, y'all. It's not my phone. Instead of those just being your personal bills, those are now your home-based business bills. Yeah. So they are now subject to being deducted. So where you may have been making $75,000, let's say, to run your business, including like mileage, cell phone, internet, all those things that you've done over the year, you can take off the top. Let's say you did 5,000. So now you're no longer being taxed on an income of 75,000. You're being taxed on an income of 70,000. And regardless of what percentage rate you're taxed at, it's going to be lower.
Yes.
So that's the thing. myEcon is a home-based business that teaches you how to handle your money and just kind of defines a lot of things. One of the things I like to say also is, everybody kind of has a where they want to go, like a destination in mind. But if you don't have a map or if you don't have GPS, you could be driving around in circles forever and never get there. This system teaches you how to get where you're trying to go. It helps you answer questions you didn't even know you were about to ask. So, like I said, it's going on 8 years for me. I haven't looked back, and it's been like financially, I don't even want to think about where I would be financially had I not started doing this business.
Right. So this business pays you. How do you earn money with myEcon?
Okay. Yeah, it pays me. First of all, I think of the deductions and everything as a stream of income. So that's one. Another stream of income, anytime I talk about this and introduce this product or this business to somebody else and they decide they want to get involved, I get a commission for that, for them joining the team. The other way is we have standalone products that we also sell. Like it's say you didn't want to do the business, but you wanted to get the credit repair. We sell that as a standalone product where we would get commission on that as well. So there are several ways you can use the business to make money off of it.
Okay, so the credit repair is like a class or something like that. I'm not sure because I haven't looked at that part yet, but it would tell you how to repair your credit.
Yes, and I said I was going to stop saying repair because not everybody, that indicates that everybody has bad credit. Everybody doesn't have bad credit. Sometimes you just want to maximize your credit. You might have been in the late 60s, 600s for a while, and you're like, why can I not get over the hump and get to 700 or 8, wherever you're trying to go? Yeah. So what this is a do-it-yourself credit repair system where you go in and learn the 5 things that compose your credit score. Now, before I started doing this business, I only thought credit was based on whether I was late with payment and whether how sometimes you just don't pay it off and it just goes into collection. I thought that was it. Once I joined, I learned that there are 5 things that affect your credit score. So It's almost like if you my daughter is 12. And I started talking to her about credit when she was 5. I tried to just make it age appropriate, but I wanted her to get it because I don't know about you, Gio, but when I was growing up, my dad, he didn't know a whole lot about credit. He gave me this advice about credit. Go to school, get a job, pay your bills, don't be late. That was the extent of our credit conversation. That was it. So with that in mind, when it comes to mine, I want her to know because I ruined my credit at an early age. I'm talking about I messed it up. It was terrible. I went to a car lot when I was in my early 30s in South Carolina and they ran my credit. I hadn't been checking it myself. And the guy comes back and he tells me, well, Miss King, your score is 591. And I'm standing there still grinning, like, okay. I mean, 591 out of what? 600? What? you know? He was like 591 out of 850. So me and my little raggedy car I came in, left right on back out the same way because 591 was not gonna cut it. But right. I didn't know about that. So, for my daughter, I tell her credit is like for a grown-up their report card. When you go to school, you want to get all A's. It's 5 different areas, but if you get an F and a D in one part and you ace in those other 3 parts, your credit score is not going to equal 850. So you got to be doing everything at a good level. Right. You can't do that if you don't know what everything is.
So myEcon teaches people how to get their credit score up and keep it up. And there was another part that I liked about myEcon because I've been watching you and Tony, and I've been watching Pandy, and I was saying to myself, I need to add a third home business because I like the coins. Yeah. And I've been watching you guys talking about this, and the main thing that attracted me was the cash flow management.
Cash flow management.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, the cash flow manager is really, to me, the bread and butter of the whole thing because it only takes, a lot of people have a misconception about what it takes to have a home-based business. People think you got to get an LLC, you got to go do this, you got to do that. For this home business, I only needed a social security number. That is what I used to start my business. It's a valid business. Now, there are 2 things that the IRS requires for you to be a legitimate home-based business or a legitimate business, period. Number 1, you have to make an attempt to make a profit. Number 2, you have to keep good records. That is where the cash flow manager comes in. Cash flow manager, and it also is a device that we sell as a standalone. But when you join the membership and you get your business, this comes with the business. There are over 400 deductions that home-based business owners can get. We don't know them all. There, you can go to irs.gov and look at the publications, and they'll go over them in depth. What this system does, it asks you the 5 things that you need to know to be compliant with the IRS. Who, what, when, where, and why. Yes. With this system, you are able to, we got rid of the hole. You got to keep a box of receipts that's faded. The cash flow manager has it built in where you just, while you're there, like we went out to dinner earlier this year at Olive Garden, snapped a picture of the receipt, saved it in the phone to the cash flow manager. When I got ready to go in and actually put in the who, what, when, where, why, which I could have done it right there at the table because the system is an app on my phone. So you have it with you at all times. It just depends on if you're the type of person that wants to wait till the end of the week to do everything, or if you're that person is, let me go and put that in now. So the cash flow manager will track all of your receipts. It will make sure you're answering those 5 questions. It also has a place in there where you can put your mileage for when you leave the home, get to your destination and come back. So you're tracking that, at the same time. And it has everything that you even could have thought maybe not have been a deduction on that list.
Right. That's why I went ahead and joined it because Before I had to do all of that by myself and
Right.
make sure I got all the receipt, all of this and everything. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, I joined my econ because it is just so much better than what I was doing. And now
Right.
that I know I can just snap or take my phone and take the picture of the receipt and have it online already there, baby, I love that. And
Exactly.
now that I've joined it under another girlfriend of mine that's in your group, Melissa. Her name is Pandy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad because I don't even have to be worried about putting no receipts in no jar and all of this stuff and write
Exactly.
2023 on them. And oh my God, this has made my life so much better.
It really does. And for somebody that's not organized, because some of us, we're just naturally going to be an organizer. There are some people, system has truly saved their life because they don't track nothing.
Right.
And you have to be able to show it. And as I was telling you before, you keep it in there at the end of the year when it's time for me to get my taxes done. I mostly do mine online, so I just save it as a file and send it over to them. You can print it off. It'll categorize it based on, you can sort it based on the categories versus if you want to just do it by date. It also calculates or keeps track of not just your expenses, but any income you bring in as well.
Right.
So you've got all of that in there and it's doing a running tally for you. There is the option to, and I love this option, to put things on repeat. For example, if your cell phone bill is the same amount every month, you put it in that first time, you put on there repeat, or whatever day of the month your phone bill comes out, and you put that amount in there, and it's going to track it until you tell it to stop.
That's what
Yeah.
I love about it. Now, this is something else I want to bring up. You can join myEcon as a home business owner, and even if you don't go out and like buy nothing or have a home business. I mean, what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that you can promote it to other people, and this
Right.
can be your home business, and you can earn money.
Right, because basically that's me. Like when Tony was telling me about it, in the back of my mind while he's talking, I'm sitting up there thinking, now, what kind of business can I do? What am I going to do? Because I didn't have a home-based business.
Yes.
So I asked him that question. He said, this is the business. When you called me and I started talking to you about it, you following me on the website and or the Facebook and everything and liking my posts, I'm providing you with financial education whenever I do that. I'm putting out an invitation for you to join my business. So I'm attempting to make a profit. So as long as I am consistently sharing and tracking my expenses, this is your business. And for the last 8 years, this has been my business. And, people get discouraged because, not everybody's going to want to be a part of your business. And you hear a couple of no's and you're like, this ain't working for me. What you have to realize is when, let's say you opened up your own cafe, you put all the work into building this brick and mortar cafe, you ordered your chairs, you got your kitchen stock, you order your food. Let's just say for the first 90 days, don't a soul come in there and buy or eat anything. You still did your part. You still did what qualifies as running a business. When you open the place and advertise the place and put all that work into the place, that was you running your business. The fact that nobody bought anything, it happens. So what I'm trying to say is, don't get discouraged when you start a home-based business, and that's whatever type of business. People get discouraged and then they want to, feel like they failed, but don't think of everything as a failure. Sometimes it's just you just getting started. So,
Yeah. So the gist of this business to me is that I'm helping people manage their money the correct way. Okay.
Exactly.
So helping them keep track of their money. showing them what they need to know about that W-4 that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving out financial information, which is your home business. That's
Exactly.
how I look at it.
You
And guys, they have great training videos back there
yes.
that will show you how to do everything.
Step
Okay.
by
And
step.
yeah, and in this time and days, you have to look at videos
Right.
because that is the way it is. Okay.
Right.
But I love this business because it helps me keep track of my money
Mm-hmm.
because it is my money. Okay. And I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
want to give nobody no portion of my money that they ain't supposed to have that I did not know the information about. This is what
Exactly.
this company does for you and me. They teach us about our money and how to
Mhm.
handle
And I
it.
will say, Jill, and when you were reading the introduction about me and mentioned that I was able to bring home an additional 800 a month,
Right.
that just lets you know that now part of that was because I am now a home-based business owner, but the other part of that is I was straight up overpaying. You know,
Yeah.
that extra $50 that I was putting in there, I thought I needed to put in there, I was
Mhm.
overpaying. So I'm doing that so that at the end of the year, not only will I be negative, but I might get to bring a little bit home. What's the point when you could have had it all year long and
Right.
not have to wait? You know,
Right. Right.
so it does make a difference. It's not going to be that same amount for everybody, but depending on your situation, and even if it got, I've had people who have sat down and we've done the W-4, and it turns out that they may bring home an additional $50 of pay. Well, if you get paid twice a week, that's $100.
Right.
Well, the system is only 30 some dollars a month to maintain. So if you bring home an extra 100, you still made a profit.
That's right. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about before, but before we talk about the price, I wanted to say that they give you websites too to promote.
Yes.
So promoting your home business, like on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you can promote it there. You
For
can get,
free.
yeah, for free. Okay. And then what you're doing is you're telling people, hey, look at my econ. This is financial information that you need to know. That's your home business. And you ain't even open up your mouth. You just
Right.
let the website do
Right.
it for you. But you must put effort behind whatever you're going to do, because if you don't, then people ain't going to know what you have in your hand. And then
Exactly.
now I want to talk about the cost. Uh,
Okay. Well, we up until now we had been running like a holiday promo, but now we're back at the original cost, which is $19.95 to get started, and then $39.95 a month. Unless you do, we have two different options. The $39.95 a month is just for the business. We also have a travel that you can purchase, and for that, the monthly fee is a little bit higher. But you've seen all these people that have these travel companies. We have one as well, and that's another stream of income. If you know people that like to travel or whatever, you can make money off that part too. That's up to you whether you want to do the $39.95 a month or the $99.95 a month. What I feel like is a lot of times people will see the cost of something and let that deter them from trying, because they're looking at this an extra $40 coming out of my pocket, but they're not thinking about, okay, how many times did you go to the store this week and buy a soda? How
right.
many drive-throughs did you go through this week and spend $10 on a meal? You can spend $40 without even blinking an eye in this economy. So $40 for something for a meal that's not, if you like me, you're not even gonna be satisfied with it after you pay for it. Or $40 that's something for something that costs $40, but the value is like thousands. Because I want y'all to think about it like this. When I first got started, I paid that $179. I paid my $34.95 a month. On my first paycheck, when I got $400 back, I had already covered the cost of what I paid to start up.
Yeah.
I brought that home. So you multiply 400 twice a month, that's 800 a month. Then 12 months a year, that's close to 10,000, right? 8 times 12 is what, 96?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I never got even when my child was a baby, I never got a refund back of more than $2,000 or $3,000.
Wow.
So you want to compare that in 1 year. Not only am I bringing home more money, but I also got a tax refund that year. Now, what I've learned since is I don't want a refund. Give me all of my money now. So now they have systems in place that they walk you through where you can personally figure out how much you should be. This is whether you're a business owner or not. You can figure out how to set up your W-4 so that you come out in the end owing nothing. If you want to treat it like a forced savings account, it'll show you how much you need to put in to get a certain amount back. And then you can also see, which is good for people that are having to pay back, they can see how much they need to readjust their withdrawals so that they don't owe $2,000-$3,000.
Wow. So, that's awesome. Well, listen, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and talking about myEcon. And I just want to say it's a great, awesome company to be a part of. They give you free websites and everything. Mm-hmm. And you must, if you want to change and change your financial situation, you have to have information.
That's right.
Okay, if you don't have the information, then you can't change nothing. You can't make that extra $800, and an extra $800 a month is really good. I just want to say thank you so much, Melissa, for coming on and talking about this great company, myEcon. Now, Melissa has a YouTube channel, and the name of her YouTube channel is Melissa King myEcon Econ Show. I will have the link below. And Melissa, what is your Instagram?
My Instagram is Melissa King 7474.
Yes, I will also have that link below so that you can ask her any questions that you want about myEcon home business. And once again, I want to thank you so much for this conversation about myEcon. I truly appreciate it. And now, guys, you know why Geo joined myEcon. With that said, I just want to say bye-bye and thank you guys so much for coming. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.